I still sign these ACESPECs because there we go. So there are ACESPECs. Let's see which ACESPECs we lose in. Each. Okay. Seeming like all the ACESPECs are in H. That's pretty good. So we're not losing any ACESPECs. Let's go. Hello and welcome to a new series. Today what I'd like to talk about is the upcoming year, because we come to the end of 2025, and just been thinking about like the meta and stuff and where things go, and we have a rotation next year, and rotation is going to cover Scarlet&Violet base, Paldean Fates, Obsedian Flames, 151, Paradox Rift, and Paldean Fates. So all of these cards here will be rotating next year. So if you have a deck to make with some of these, now is the chance, because what's rotating is actually the G block of these cards, and the last G block was, of course, Paldean Fates. So we losing Zad, we losing Toadscrew, Espatra, Chen Pao and the base, Satu, Gardy finally rotating, that irritating shit. We losing Mimikyu, and a few other bits of staples. Those things would leave a hole in the meta, and we going into that would be Ascended Heroes, which is another mega set that we'll be seeing next year. And with that coming, like, what are some of the changes that we'll see? Because also we have Iono here, but I believe Iono was reprinted in a later set, so Iono will still be here. But we'll surely be losing Electric Generator, because I believe this was the last time it was printed out here in Paldean Fates. So I don't think we have a H Electric Generator, or I call it Gun, meaning some of the electric decks will get slightly weaker. So you're going through here and seeing what else we have. We'll ignore all the foils. So just like that, these are going. So meaning the EX meta and a lot of the gameplay going to head over to a very, very prize heavy meta, meaning either they'll play lots of prizes or they'll be playing like a much lower prize race. Other thing to note, we'll also be losing ACESPECs. So let's go through and see, besides the decks, what other ACESPECs we'll be losing as well. Look at that, we're losing Iron Bundle. So we're going down just some ACESPECs. Iron Hands as well is in G block. So double prize taking Iron Hands is another one that's going. So Joltic Box is another deck that would be weakened. Golden Go as well, because these are the preferred gimme goals. So yeah, is a lot going. Using Crab. So you're going to finally enjoying Spicy Curry. Losing Roy and Moon. We are getting some more stuff, but we're losing a lot of those unique effects. Golden Go is also rotating, and all of these things I'm naming here is because they're going to leave some gaping holes in the meta, as well as some staples. So like Luxurious Cape will also be gone. We're losing Earthen Seal Vessel, and again, those are some of the most prominent cards in the meta. Evolution Ray, De-Evolution Ray, the Energy Acceleration here. So it's a lot. I'm looking for them ACESPECs, but why am I not seeing any extra ACESPECs in here? Let's take a little gander deeper. Paradox Rift didn't have ACESPECs. Alright. Let's see if we have anything pretty here that we go miss. We use a Reversal Energy as well. Damn. Alright, so Counter Catcher may have been reprinted as well. Professor Turo and Professor Seda are going for sure, even though we'll still have Raging Bolt, again, significantly going to weaken decks going into the season. And those are all the top decks, meaning there's going to be a complete shake-up coming with this next rotation, meaning 2026 is going to be the year of many, many changes. Again, we're going through 151, and already we're seeing that we are losing. What do you have for 151 that we're losing? Besides the how is called this thing again? The Venomot, and there's a Pokemon with the egg in the belly. Lord, my mind blanking on my hair. That's evolving to Blissey. We're losing her as well. She has ability to take one of the prizes and go for another prize. We're losing this amazing Licky Tongue. This reason that's make you take out a prize. Just some fun stuff I was just toying around with before. Here it is. Chansey. It's Chansey. So there's not a lot of unique effects, and if you have a deck to build, now's the time because a lot is going to be removed. But the reason why we're going through all these cards here is because to know what's going to happen in the future, we need to look back at the past. So we know what decks are currently strong, what decks are currently doing well. We also know what decks are going to slightly survive, but they are also losing key pieces. So we'll have to find replacements before that happens. So again, even Mew we losing in this rotation, meaning that a lot of decks are going to be severely weakened regardless, even the ones that remain. So for me, I usually use this time to look for replacements for cards that we're going to lose during rotation. So right now I'm in the process of going through my decks and seeing which ones are salvageable. Even though we don't have a full release for Ascended Heroes yet, we can still look at the cards we currently have and see what decks remain the least hurt by the rotation that's upcoming. So right now we're going, this is Obsidian Flames we're looking through, and that's we're using Miraidon. Alright. Which Clefairy is this one? Lunar Zone. Well, I don't think that actually see much play. Which one's this? No, that's not a good one. That's not a good Togekiss. We're not losing Togekiss yet, thank God. So we still searching. Zad was here. We're losing Glimora. A lot of these Scarlet&Violet block are things people take for granted. Look at even this Scyther that had a very good run. All that stuff is gone. So now the meta will lean very heavily into the, again, even Pidgeot we're losing very heavily into this new meta where we're losing some energy acceleration and as much utility. So we need to find replacements. Again, we've been losing Pokemon League headquarters. We're back down to Paldea Evolved now. Again, and as I was saying, we also losing ACESPECs. I haven't named any ACESPECs yet, but we'll talk about that when we get to them. So next we're going through and seeing if there's anything else of note here. Because again, key pieces are supporters and the main attackers and main engines of a lot of decks. So I listed a lot of them before. I think we already went through the Paldea Evolved. And base set. This is, well, was the baseline for everything that came after. So looking at this, we'll have an idea of what we're looking for in terms of replacements. Even in terms of price points, we also going to have to find what cards are going to be more expensive as more people seek them if they don't already have their copies. And as you can see me scrolling here, Miraidon, so a lot of decks virtually dead until replacements found. So that also means we're going to have a major shake-up as there always is. But this time, if you weren't prepared, you need to prepare from now. Because after rotation, a lot of these cards are going to be a bit harder to find, while they're going to lose price. Some others going to lose price rather. So if you want to like save some money or sell off your gold cards, if you're not going to keep it in collection or you're just going to play standard, now's the time. Penny, Pokegear reprinted. So we still have Pokegear in the format. Nest Ball always there. I believe Palpad was reprinted. And Rocky Helmet was reprinted as well. So yeah, a lot of those. Right. So that being said, we're going to look now at what exactly are the cards that we're losing. So first things first, let's go over to trainers. And we're going to look for our ACESPECs, right? We have 26 ACESPECs. And we're just going to select the block that's going. So that'll be base set, going straight back until temporal forces. So all of these are cards. I think that's it there, yeah. Temporal forces is standard. So again, let's see, ACESPECs. Not seeing any ACESPECs there, so no ACESPECs there in rotation. Let's move on now from ACESPECs. Let's go on to stadiums. So there are 10 stadiums rotating. These are them. So we're going to lose Artisan and we're going to lose our Tongue Store. The rest of them see niche play, so not too big, but these are two major losses, and they'll affect the decks going forward, as you'll have to find other ways to search for these. It also weakens Colress slightly. That's Colress's tenacity, as you'll have a few less options to choose from. So we'll be going again. Let's look at tools. What tools are we using? So 23 tools. Big Charm, Ancient, and Future Capsules. We use Luxurious Cape, Vitality Band. So we're not losing major tools since the most of the Ancient and the Future Pokemon go in. Are going to weaken the archetype overall. But the ones that remain will also be a bit more stuck with that. Next, let's go into supporters. 63 supporters will be rotating. And with those, we have Arvin. I believe Arvin is at 8, so we're keeping Arvin. Boss will remain, of course. Bill losing. And we have Atticus leaving. I loved Atticus when I used it. It's amazing. I am not sure. This might have gotten a later printing. So let's take a look and see. That's still G. 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 See this one. Yeah, I know going for sure. We only seen G copies of that. We have Judges still here. And we're losing Penny. Turo, as well as Seda leaving. Going down, let's see if any major, right? So that's in terms of major supporters. Tulip is a big deal as well, because it's still being used a lot by like Alakazam and Psychic decks, along with the Bill Cipher. So even though that's a newer deck that has mostly newer cards in the eye block and such, they still being affected by the rotation, so still have to find replacements for those. Going back again, we're looking at just items now. 26 items rotating. Major losses are still Electric Generator and Earth and Seal Vessel. Energy Retrieval, I believe, was reprinted again, but I don't think Grabber was ever printed back. So I'm losing Grabbers. That's a personal pain for me. Palpad, I don't believe was reprinted other than with the G block. But let's see if I'm wrong. Let's look for the most recent printing. I'm seeing G, G, and older. So we're also losing Palpad. Rare Candy is staying. Superior Energy Retrieval is in G as well. But is there more recent printing? Because that's the question here. And it seems like there isn't. So we're actually using Superior Energy Retrieval as well. So meaning even though decks like Cyrilege are going to also not be as viable because our options for getting back energy are low to almost gone. And that's why I'm saying, heading into the new meta, from the Pokemon that remain, a lot of them are going to be the EXs and Megas. Meaning that you need to find proper ways to account for things that you lost. And with what is revealed in Ascended Heroes, we're getting even more of it. So it's going to go back into, I would say, how things were with the Mew VMAX, with the Max meta, where is either trying to beat them on prize racing, or you're playing a very powerful Pokemon, even though it's 3 prizes, and you're trying to keep it alive and or have it survivable to keep things going. So going forward, things like this guy, what's his name? Will's Compassion will be very, very good moving forward. We no longer have Penny, but we have a lot more of the Mega Pokemon, and this helps to get the energy off of them. We still have a lot of energy acceleration, so not too much worry there. I still sign these ACESPECs because there we go. So they're ACESPECs. Let's see which ACESPECs we lose in. H. Okay. Seeming like all the ACESPECs are in H. That's pretty good. So we're not losing any ACESPECs. That's nice. Unfortunately, one of them becoming far less useful in the form of Awakening Drum. But so be it. So upside there, we still have our ACESPECs. But now that we have the whole pass down, if you're this far, that means you're actually in for the analysis. Now we move into the future. So let's look at replacements for current supporters. Right? Let's go with supporters. First, we're going to list the ones that definitely will be missed and very important. So let's put them in the deck. So for one, Bill. That'll be good. That'll be going. Not many people use Erica, but Erica is also very unique. We have a Yuno. We already have a replacement for Jack in the form of Dawn. So if you don't have that, there's also the replacement of Hilda. So you're not leaving that there. We have Charisma, because that's energy acceleration, leaving only Crispin there. We have Penny, there's nothing else that does this in the format. We have Seda, as well as Turo, because Penny is leaving as well. And let's see if we have anything to replace these. Of course, we also have Tulip. There we go. These are all the supporters that rotated. And these are the ones that are very crucial. There's an argument to be made about Guaycomo, but I don't want to say Guayhomo, but it sounds real funny. Anyway, so these are what we have. Let's see if there are any replacements that will be available in all the sets that are out so far. So again, we're removing the sets that rotated, and with that, let's see what remains. Again, Arvin's here, so let's make sure I didn't over select, right? There you go. Need to remove Paldean Fates, and there we go. So this is it. Nice. So it seems like Arvin wasn't reprinted, but was reprinted up in a possibly a play pack. But if we lose an Arvin, that's actually a big deal. So let's continue. Articus is in G as well, but he may have gotten an H printing. Alright, so let's go. So first one is Bill Cypher, as well as the Penny and Turo. We're looking for replacements for those. So anything that returns a Pokemon from the bench or helps remove damage, and we only have Will's Compassion, meaning there's no option available to any other Pokemon besides the Megas. So that's a tough one. The closest comparison would be Ace Ruler's Mischief, because Ace Ruler's Mischief would actually allow the Pokemon to live regardless of their damage. I don't know why Ace Ruler's Mischief isn't showing up here, but it should. Oh, there we go. Because we didn't include the Mega Evolutions blocking this. Beautiful. There we go. Now we have everything here. So we have Ace Ruler's Mischief that can replace some of the protection and bounce. But the things that aren't replaceable are Bill as well as Erica. Because in all the supporters we currently own, none of them bring as much possible Pokemon as Bill does. Though one could be a close replacement as it brings one from every stage. So that may help some decks, but it isn't a full replacement. Arguably, Explorer's Guidance may also fill that role, but you only get in 2 Pokemon, so it doesn't increase your hand by that much. Next, what we're looking at would be Energy Acceleration, because we're losing both our Seda and Giovanni's Charisma. We have a good bit of ways to get energy on the board, and Janine, but only for dark, so it'll be a bit more type sensitive. But that's not all lost. We still have things like End's Plan, and that allow us to move multiple energies. We still have access to energy transfer and stuff, so there's no big loss there. We have Zero Sick, which is an arguable replacement for our Ayuno, but we have Judge as well, and we have Lily's Determination to get back cards in hand. So yes, this will serve like 2 uses, but we have some cards to replace them. So instead of 4 Ionos, you might run 2 Zero Six and 2 extra draw cards, or 2 Judges to make up the slack. Who knows? What else seems irreplaceable here? Of course, we have the Tulip, and unfortunately, I don't think we have anything that brings back as much value as Tulip. The closest thing could be Lily's, not Lily's Appeal. There's a Lily that brings back a combination of Pokemon and energy. Let's see if I can find it. Or not Lily, it's Lana's Aid, which allows you to bring back Pokemon that don't have rule boxes and energy. So this can bring back anything, including rule box Pokemon. You won't be able to bring back your Megas and EXs, but that's still versatile, possibly versatile enough for some decks. Because we still have Stretcher and stuff, so again, we still have things, but it just won't be as efficient as they currently are. What we can look at is some other unique cards that are available and as options. Again, we don't have Bill anymore. We also don't have, again, Tulip, but we do have Cyrano, which can bring EXs to hand. And all of the Megas are EXs, so that's our contemplation to increase the amount of decks possible. So let's looking around, seeing what else we have. Well, Brazias, Briar's still there. We also have Brock Scouting, which will bring 2 basics or a single Mega. Well, sorry, I say Mega, I mean Evolution from your deck. That's pretty solid on its own as well. But what I think the biggest loss would be, and the biggest change to the meta and shake-up, would be the loss of Arven. Because we currently have nothing that's even remotely close to replacing Arven. Because there's one card that brings an item as one of the Rocket supporters that allow you to bring an item. There's also one that makes you discard your hand to bring a particular trainer. Let's see. And it is Team Rocket's Petrel, which will bring a trainer. And that's it. So it's going to bring a single item. Now the best, we also have Triton, which will allow it to look item and reveal a Pokemon trainer card. So this is the closest thing to replacement to Arvin, which is Drayton. So I am currently going to search for Draytons because this is going to be the Arvin moving forward. Because the combination of this and I guess Pokegear will be the closest thing to having Arvin. Because you won't be able to set your whole deck, but you'll be able to still find something. Also, Drayton is a kind of midway between a reader as well as Arvin. A reader is bringing an item and a Pokemon, a water Pokemon and an item for sure. Arvin brings an item and a tool for sure. He looks like top 7. He can get any Pokemon and any trainer card. Meaning he could still bring a tool, an item, even a supporter, as well as a Pokemon that's not just restricted to water. This currently isn't seeing the most setup play, but again, arguably, moving forward, this is going to be an amazing card unless there's a new supporter release and Ascended Heroes that can take the place of Arvin. So, you know your decks. I've just showed you what I'm doing. Have that look through, and I'll do a follow-up video on possible versions of existing decks with the future in mind for 2026. We're going into a new year, new vision, so that's what we'll be looking into. We have the art leaks, we have showcase of other stuff, and I know it's much of a longer video, but I hope you always found it useful. I hope it found it insightful, and look forward for this week because again we're looking forward. Thank you for your time. I hope you found it nice, and I will see you in the next one.